Earlier today, in a well-coordinated sweep, federal, state, and local law enforcement officers slammed a door on a major Central Valley-based gang and narcotics trafficking organization operating across several states and with significant links to the Nuestra Familia prison gang. As of this moment, 41 people have been arrested, $83,000 seized, 72.5 pounds of methamphetamine, 6 pounds of cocaine, 20 firearms, a number of vehicles as you've seen out in the parking lot, and we expect maybe even some houses will be forfeited. We want to emphasize that those taken down today were bigger fish than those sometimes netted in these kinds of operations. Many were pivotal members of Norteño criminal street gangs, some operating in cooperation with Nuestra Familia prison direction. The success of today's action was the result of more than 6 months of painstaking investigation using the combined resources of Merced County Narcotics and Gang Task Force, the State Bureau of Investigation, and the federal DEA. Those who were arrested today face a wide range of felony charges involving narcotics trafficking, weapons possession, conspiracy, and gang enhancement. Agents seized money, guns, expensive cars, and maybe even houses as part of the investigation. We intend to send those convicted of these crimes to state prison for lengthy sentences and forfeit their illicit property. As is often the case, we didn't get everyone. We never do. Like cockroaches, those who traffic in narcotics, violence, and misery and escape today's raids will scurry for cover in darkness and try to regroup. But they were hit hard today, and our streets and communities will be safer as a result. As always, these coordinated enforcement actions are not about the DAs or the chiefs who speak at the press conference. They're about the men and women who have spent months working every lead and every angle to get us to this result. This day belongs to them. I'd like to introduce our friend Kent Shaw, Chief of the Bureau of Investigation for the Office of the Attorney General, who will address some of the specifics of today's operation. Kent.
Thank you. It's Kent Shaw, S-H-A-W, first name is K-E-N-T. And I'm here on behalf of Attorney General Kamala Harris. It's my privilege to be here. I'd like to actually start by thanking all of these public safety executives up here with me for the leadership that they provided in this collaborative work that we did. I can tell you, as the evidence will show in this case, these criminal organizations are collaborating together in terms of how they're committing their crimes. And it's essential that we do the same in order to effectively deal with this issue. Very violent and dangerous groups. I think the evidence has shown through a series of these investigations that have been done in Northern California, particularly here in the Central Valley, the very strong nexus between the street gangs, which are working in collaboration with our prison gangs, the Nuestra Familia in this case, along with the Norteños, as well as with transnational criminal organizations, the Mexican drug trafficking organizations that are importing drugs into California, distributing it throughout the state, and then also in interstate. In this case, there were connections for drug trafficking that reached out of California into the states of Tennessee and Arkansas, for example. So, the Attorney General's Office recently released a report titled Gangs Beyond Borders, California and the Fight Against Transnational Criminal Organizations. And in that report, it documented, which is the first comprehensive report that's been done on this, showing the link between these criminal organizations and the fact that this is a growing or expanding threat that we all face, and offered up a number of solutions. Today is an example of exactly one of those. That law enforcement needs to work more collaboratively together in terms of addressing these issues. I can tell you that all of us our budgets are strapped. We're trying to do more with less. In the Department of Justice, for example, our Division of Law Enforcement suffered a $71 million reduction in our budget 2 years ago, which eliminated much of the resources that we use to do these kinds of investigations. Specifically, we have gone from 55 of our multi-jurisdictional task forces. In this case, in this county, the leadership was provided much by the Merced Multi-Agency Narcotic Task Force. And also, we supplemented that with the Department of Justice with our Special Operations Unit, of which we only have one in the state. One of the largest states and certainly the most populated. It's rather reprehensible that we don't have more resources to focus on these issues, that we only have one team here in Fresno. But they are an elite group. of investigators who do exceptional work. I think it's unparalleled in the law enforcement community what they're capable of doing, and we need to have more of that. And that's why in our report we're trying to work with the legislature and the governor to try to expand those teams to make sure that we keep our multi-jurisdictional task forces operating, as well as supplementing 5 additional special operations teams throughout the state that are needed to address this issue. So I think the message is clear that we're sending out to those who are involved in these organizations and those who may be considering doing this, is that if you get involved in these types of operations, then really you're only going to be promised, one of 2 things. That's either going to be a lifetime of incarceration or probably an early death. And that's a fate that meets many of these folks. So the message is not to get involved in this, because we're not going anywhere. We're going to continue to work better and smarter as we go forward. Our commitment in the Department of Justice is to continue to work and support in cooperation with law enforcement, and we will continue to do that. So again, I want to thank all these individuals, and I want to echo what the district attorney had mentioned in terms of really thanking the men and women who do a very dangerous and an expensive job, I'll add, but do that at much sacrifice of their own personal lives in a very dangerous environment to do that. So with that, I would like to introduce the United States Attorney for the Eastern District of California, Benjamin Wagner.
Thank you, Kent, and thank you, Larry. I'm Ben Wagner, and our part of the operation, the federal operation, consisted of arrests of 6 defendants today. 5 of them were taken into custody here in California. 1 was taken into custody in Arkansas. This was a very sophisticated, multi-state methamphetamine distributing organization. I want to give my compliments to the DEA for an outstanding job, both here in California and in other states where this investigation was underway. They had a number of telephone intercepts that were up. They also supported a number of state intercepts. There was investigation in multiple states to lead to the takedown today. It was a tremendous job. I also want to salute the efforts of Kathy Servatius and Melanie Allsworth, who are the 2 prosecutors in my office, who have worked side by side with the federal, state, and local law enforcement as part of this takedown. As Kent Shaw mentioned a few moments ago, we on the federal side, along with the California Attorney General's office, the Bureau of Investigations, have been involved with our county and local allies up and down the valley now, with several similar takedowns in recent years targeting the Nuestra Familia and its Norteño allies who are involved in drug trafficking of the sort that was a focus today here in Merced County. We participated in takedowns in Hanford, in Visalia, in Los Banos, and elsewhere. And I was in Fresno earlier this afternoon to talk about the results of the federal prosecutions that followed from some of those takedowns. And I think this is a very timely takedown here in Merced today, because looking forward, we've seen what's happened in these other cases. On the federal level, in the last 2 to 3 years, we have now obtained sentences on 69 members of the Nuestra Familia and its affiliates. I think 46 of those, if I'm not mistaken, have already received sentences of 10 years or more. And those are sentences which, under federal law, they are required to serve at least 85% of the time imposed. So they're very significant sentences. We've also forfeited a good deal of property, and I expect that there will be similar results in this case. Our experience in this effort up and down the valley has really been a multi-jurisdictional effort. Federal, state, local, working side by side, DEA, FBI, ATF, working side by side with the California Attorney General's office, Bureau of Investigation, and with sheriff's offices, and with police departments like the police departments from Merced and Atwater and elsewhere that you see here today. It has really been a collaborative effort. We all recognize what a serious threat these criminal gangs are to the safety of the Central Valley. So my hat's off to them, to District Attorney Morse, to Kent Shaw for welcoming us into this collaborative effort. And I'm sure this is a great victory today for Merced County, but there's undoubtedly going to be more to come, and we'll be there for the fight. Thank you.